So I'm going to call this my Game Changers. Beautiful Brampton Golf Club. To drop down first before you go too early. To improve all areas of your game. I'm going to fall over. This is going to put natural loft on your driver. One of my favourite statements is repetition is the mother of skill, and this is a perfect one. And then eventually let it seep into your game. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me for another Academy Visits video. My name is Warren Bennett. We've got Trev, I think, sunning himself behind me. And welcome to the beautiful, beautiful Brampton Golf Club. As you can see from the drone shots, what a lovely area we're in. And we're only 5 or 6 miles away from Hadrian's Wall, which is the border between England and Scotland. So yeah, we're right up north of England here. Very crisp and cold morning, as you can see. You might see from the drone shots, we've got a bit of frost on the ground, but we're blessed with beautiful blue sky. So I'd like to thank everyone here at Brampton Golf Club, Phil, the pro, and Jamie in the office for their communication and for opening up their doors to me for the use of their grass practice areas. You can see behind me, as well as they've got a covered driving range. So a really nice setup here for me to do a video. So once again, thank you to everyone. As per usual, I'll leave all the information about Brampton Golf Club in the description below. I'll leave all their websites, social media, yeah, so you can check it out. If you're ever up this way, we're not too far away from the Lake Districts. As you can see with the map there, we're kind of northeast here. But it's only a very short drive and very easy drive, and absolutely beautiful actually. If I can digress a little bit, I was walking Trev this morning and there's some absolutely stunning roads and there's some stunning walks. As you can see, I took Trev on this lovely walk next to this river. So if you're ever up this way, do check out the good folk here at Brampton, and I'm sure they'll give you a welcome as good as I got this morning. Okay, so let's get on to the video, and I'd like to thank Pete for this one because he suggested, why don't you do like an all-time drills and tips? So I'm going to call this my Game Changers. I'm going to give you 7. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail with each one because, as you know, I like to waffle. I like to get into the nitty-gritty of it. I like to tell why and how. So on this one, I'm not going to be able to go into too much detail. But if I've done a video on them before, I'll leave a description below as well, so you can go and check those out in a little bit more detail. But I'm going to give you my 7 that I think, and like you've heard me before, find the one thing that cures 4. So I'm going to give you 7 different type of exercises to improve all areas of your game. Without further ado, I'm going to get the back camera set up and we'll get going. Oh wow, it's cold today, so I'm just going to have a few hits just to get my oil warm, as they say. Oh, that was a stiff one. We're hitting into a very low sun. I think we're about 11 o'clock, something like that now, and that's probably about as high as it's going to get. So I apologise if it's a little bit too silhouette-y. So like I said, I can't go into too much detail. I'm going to have to spend like a couple of minutes on each one, but it'll give you an overview of what I think are my game-changing tips and drills for you to take onto the practice area, do at home, and then eventually let it seep into your game. As well as I've got some exercises that you can take out on the golf course straight away. Okay, number 1 being feet together. Get your feet close together. Educate your arms to hit the ball. Get your arm swing nice and long. Too many people, too many club golfers especially, do the opposite. Too much body, not enough arms. A nice little wrist set as well, so you're looking for a little bit of wrist and arm. We do lose our movement, our range of motion into the latter years, but you can swing the club quite efficiently and with some speed with your arms only. Natural length comes from a bit of hinging. The more narrow you have your feet together, the harder it is, because if I now move and put too much lateral in my swing, I'm going to feel it. Get the club behind your head. Get the club head behind your head. It doesn't have to be a long arm swing. You're not looking for your arms to go back here. You're looking for the club head to go back here. And the only way to do that is to get some hinge. So hinge and hands, we're going to call this one. Feet together, hinge and hands, moving your hands, getting some hinge. You can see there, I've only got a very short arm swing because that's about what I can do with my feet so close together. But my club is way behind my head. Now I've got some natural length. Now I've got some angle to get rid of. And then on the follow through, you're looking for a nice balanced finish, and you're looking for your arms and hands to be folding round your neck. You're not looking for a short follow through and a hold on follow through. Why I call it my desert island drill is if you're stuck on a desert island, You found a golf club, which is handy. You've got 1 million golf balls. You've got 3 years to be saved. You're going to have good efficiency in your arms and hands, and then hopefully club face, because you will create what's called natural speed. And you can build that up nice and slowly to start with. Make sure your form is correct, and then build up the speed. Okay, so that's number 1. Let's get on to number 2. Okay, number 2 is the wall drill. What you're looking for in the transition, and especially on the way down, is the club face, and I'm going to do it kind of exaggerated here, and you'll see it from the back view. You can see the wall behind my heels. You're looking for the club to be going down this wall for the first few clicks of the downswing. It definitely introduce some movement of the hands, so you're not just doing club face only. That's not realistic. So you're moving your hands down a little bit, but especially the club face. And what this does, you can see from the front view, is it gets your right hand, or get your rear arm under. You can see, you can see my right elbow under my left arm there. So that's difficult to introduce into a full swing, so we're going to break it down. So nice and gently. So back swing, drop down, let your arms drop with you. Then from here, you can just release. Release can either mean a bit more hand and arm release, if you're a slicer, or a little bit more rotation with the top half, if you want to straighten out that hook without stopping. And you can see what's happening there. Not really doing a lot, but I'm really letting this club drop down the wall, as you can see. Beautiful. You won't do that much, because under speed, and when the pressures are layered, it's going to get thrown out. But you have to get this club in the transition, dropping down this plane line here. Get it inside, everyone. The only way you can do that is to get your right hand, I'll do it from here because of the sun, is you're looking for your hands to be kind of just opening. My right hand, palms facing up a little bit, only very slightly. You don't want the palm to be on top at all. My elbow's now going down and under. Remember, that's too much. And then you can slowly introduce, stick it on a tee. You can slowly introduce some non-stopping ones. So I'm going to do one rehearsal stop. Okay, nice and smooth. We're not going to make any distance here. And you can see when I layer a swing with some force, albeit very slow motion and slow, it won't ever keep going down that wall. Eventually it's got to come out. Get it under you, get it flat, get the club going down behind you to start with. That's too much, it's exaggerated, and then layer some force into that. And remember, this is why golf is so difficult, because under force it won't ever keep doing that, but you've got to exaggerate, feel that mile to gain an inch. Okay, that's the wall drill. Let's get on to number 3. And you'll get a sense of what a golf swing, how all these feelings blend into each other. And they're in no order, but you'll get an idea of all these dominoes and what affects each other. So the cause and effect, the backswing will put the club in a better position. So on that theme, number 3 is going to be the lasso drill. What you're looking for is the backswing to be out here. You can see from the behind view, hopefully, if it's not too silhouette-y, is you're looking for the club to be out here. That's going to really help and give the club head somewhere to go. I've seen too many people rolling this club inside and too flat. You can see my right palm is open there. You want to keep the club head outside your hands, and you want the club head to be still looking down at the ball. Again, you'd rather be that side of the fence than that side of the fence. Rolling open and behind you to start with is only going to encourage the over the top and shut on the way down. No lag and no speed. So let's really get the lasso. Let's really start the club outside. Keep the club outside your hands for as long as you can. And that gives it somewhere to go with that wall drill, as you can see. So it makes it so much easier really without you thinking of it. So to help with this wall drill, to help with the club going back behind you, getting it on plane, right, we can do some exaggerated practice swings with the ball. So we're going to stop here. You can see how outside the club head is of my hands, and you can see the club head still looking down. And then from here we're going to carry on, and naturally I can feel it wanting to lasso around me, albeit it wasn't a great strike. So it's always going to be a little bit more difficult with the ball, but we're going to keep the club outside. We're going to hold, check, club still looking down, way outside my hands. It's too exaggerated. This will give it somewhere to go. Carry on with the backswing for a little bit, but it gives the club head somewhere to go right under you. That was better. If I hit 20 balls, in the 20th ball, if I went that way, it's going to want to do this way. I won't be able to stop it. And then you can introduce some really slow motion, exaggerated without stopping. Just a slow build up in the transition there. You don't have to be Sergio Garcia to play good golf. You're just looking for this club just to kind of go fall a little bit down in the downswing. One more. So when you get on that golf course, if you exaggerate your practice swings, exaggerate your practices a little bit, when you let it go and pull the pin, a little bit of that will seep into your game. Okay, number 3 being the Lasso. Let's get on to number 4. Okay, number 4, absolutely beautiful one for driving, and to give you the feeling of what a transition, what a down should be in the downswing. So if you're a golfer that hits a 3-wood, okay, but can't hit a driver, this is a really good one, because this is going to put natural loft on your driver. And the good news is you can do it with an iron. And I haven't got a driver with me, but you'll get a sense of what I'm trying to do. So backswing, what you want to try and do, you want to pick a point kind of level with your feet line behind the ball, and I want you to drop the club down on that area behind you. If I'm going to drop my club on this point behind me, there's no way I'm going to do a bad fault that a lot of golfers do, and that's open up too much, and that produces this steep down into the ball with a driver. You don't want that at all. So the drop down exercise forces you to stay right back. You can see how shut I am from the behind view. It's obviously too much, but you have to drop the club in that slot, on that green dot. As you can see, I have to do that. I have to stay as shut as I can to achieve that. Any sort of movement with my shoulders, I can only drop it there. Backswing, I'm going to do it without stopping this time. Beautiful. So you can do this in your garden. You don't even need to hit the floor, by the way. If you've got a concrete floor, you can just drop it on and just hover it. But you're really delaying the amount of rotation and top half you're putting into your golf swing and in this transition, and it's really encouraging the club and arms to drop down, because if your top half is passive, it allows everything to drop. If your top half is too quick, it's going to throw it over here. You can still do this with an iron, by the way. Okay, so when you introduce the feeling of that to a normal swing, just let your top half go. If you want to introduce a bit more draw to your golf swing and your shots, that's what you've got to do. You've got to allow this club and arms to drop under you, and then you're in the position to hit. Educating your arms and hands and obviously club to drop before you move your shoulders. Drop. Stay there. Stay there. That is not real life. That's massively exaggerated. Find a point behind on your toe line and drop the club onto it. Wow, look how shut I am. Then from here, we can now just going to let go. Still feel like we're going to drop the club somewhere around this high. As you can see with the dot, still going to feel like we're going to drop it about here, but we're going to go. Now I know you can't feel what I feel, but I definitely felt the transition, the first half or the first third or the initial move, my arms wanted to do that. And that's what this drill gives you. It gives you a chance for your arms and club to drop down first before you go too early. Okay, that's number 4. Let's get on to number 5. Okay, number 5, and I think this is one of my top 3 tips to give a golfer, because it can have such an influence over other areas of your body and then the golf club, and that's the lateral shift. Too many golfers don't have any, so when they get to the top of the backswing, let's say the right pocket for a right-handed golfer that stays on that line for too long, or even goes the other way because they're either trying to lift it up when they started playing golf and they just got into a bad habit. So you've got to be able to shift your weight towards where the target's going. If I was throwing a ball or any throwing or batting or racket sport, the weight, like a serve in tennis, the weight goes towards where they're wanting to put the power. It never goes away. But the difference with those sports and golf, you've got a golf ball on the floor, and golfers try and lift it too much. And you need to try and do the opposite. You need to give the club the best chance to hit down on that ball when it's on the floor. And the best way to do that is to get some lateral shift. Top of the backswing or 3/4 of the way up, start feeling your pockets going towards where the target is. Then from there, if you're a slicer or hooker, depending on what release you do in terms of release with your body or release with your hands and arms. but you've got to be able to shift. So if I've got a line outside my left pocket there, you need to shift everything, but it's both pockets as well. An elite player, so for instance, a Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwoods of the world, they've got too much lateral. So don't think, oh, I'm going to do what Rory's doing. He's staying pretty stationary and pulling his arms and hands down. I wouldn't do that if you're an over-the-topper, especially over the plane anyway. So I would really introduce some more lateral shift into your golf game. Keep really shut, as you can see from the behind view there, and then from there, the club head then takes over. The club head then releases. You can kind of narrow your feet in a little bit to give you a bit more feeling. So short backswing, and then we're going to do a little slider. Remember, when everything gets layered in terms of speed, it will never be that much. It will never be as much as you do in a practice swing, and it shouldn't be. You only need a little bit. Don't rush the first bit of your backswing. Keep it nicely outside, and then from here, remember, this will govern the amount of down because it's going to keep your top half passive. Let's do it. Got the 2 lines there, and let's go for it. Little half swing, beautiful little clip away. Remember, if you want the one thing to govern 4, get your pockets moving, and that will help the arms and club to do more work for you. Okay, if you're still with me, that was number 5. Let's get on to number 6. Okay, number 6 is the axes of the golf swing, which is your head. You've got to keep your head as still as you can, and then let other things move around that. Too many people move their head around too much, and then because of that, you can't move other parts of your body. If I had a good leg action of too much of a head movement, let's go for it, I'm going to fall over. So your gyroscopes in your head are going to say, well, hold on a minute, I'm not going to do that. So if I'm moving my head about, guess what's going to be the sacrifice? You're not going to be able to move your weight. So keeping your head still is the best and worst swing thought you can hear or give yourself. Because if you do it wrong and keeping your head completely still and you don't move anything else, that is wrong. So what you're doing, you're allowing everything to move and twist around a passive head. And then obviously you look up at the end. You're not just being stationary and doing nothing. You're allowing your body, you're allowing your shoulders to twist, but you've got to do it off a head that's nice and stationary. This is a great exercise. Put the club across your shoulder, and then you're looking for your shoulders to look down and down. So you're looking for your left shoulders to be down and then right shoulders to be down. That helps with the head being nice and still too. If I moved my shoulders, my left shoulder went too high, I can't keep my head still. It's going to get pulled off the ball. So you've got to have a nice kind of tilt to your shoulder plane. That helps with your head being nice and still. And look at my peaks of my cap. I've said this many times in many videos. My peaks of my cap don't look straight down. There's a little bit of movement there. You can see now the difference between the two. I'm allowing my head just to kind of look over there, but my eyes are still down at the ball. Okay, little exercise you can do, little half swing. So left arm parallel, right arm parallel. You can see I'm still looking down at the ball. So a great little feeling is left shoulder, right shoulder. Left shoulder into your chin, right shoulder into your chin. But I'm still looking down. Don't look up yet. And the 7th and final tip will take this feeling on a little bit more as well. One of my all-time favourite exercises. And you can see with the slow motion there, there's obviously going to be a little bit of movement, because there is obviously a movement of the body. It's not just static. And the majority of golfers who can create a consistent golf swing and a consistent strike have a good motion of their body and arms around a good still axis. Okay, so if you've made it this far, thank you very much. So let's get on to the 7th and final game changer. Okay everyone, so 7th and final one, and probably one of my top 3 again, and it's the hit and hold drill. Now what this exercise is a little bit narrower stance. We're not going to make a full backswing, and we're going to stop halfway through. So what that does, that makes sure everything's working in the correct sequence. So let's do some without hitting a ball. So backswing, stop and hold. Right foot's in, head still down, right arm and left arm are extended, and the club face is looking down the line. So if you can hit a ball like that, don't go too hard. Anyone I give this to, they always go too far. So nice and gently, no hit. It's not a distance exercise. Right foot in, right knee, shoulder is underneath my chin. I'm still looking down. just like the axes feeling, more importantly my arms are down the line. John Jacobs said shake hands with the target. What a beautiful kind of analogy that is. Shaking hands with the target. Too many people shake hands with the target behind them. This is a fantastic exercise to do in a net because it's not a result-based exercise. You're just training your motion of your body, legs and arms, all as one. If you can get in this position here, 9 times out of 10, everything's worked correct beforehand. Everything's going to have to work correctly beforehand to achieve that. One of my favourite statements is repetition is the mother of skill, and this is a perfect one. Feet narrow together to allow a little bit of kicking, make it a little bit easier. Head still, remember, knee in, foot up, arms extended down the line. Don't try and hit it too hard. I'd rather you hit it softer and shorter and do it correct. So if you follow those guidelines of those kind of ingredients, and with all these drills, hopefully you can hear me, there's a leaf blower over there, there's a right and a wrong way to do it. So I've obviously skimmed the surface of how to do these exercises, but if you do them correctly, and obviously like I said, there's the main videos I've done in the past of these drills. If I haven't, I will do them. They're in the description below for you to kind of go into a little bit more detail, because if you're going to hit a lot of golf balls doing a drill like these, you've got to make sure you're doing them correctly. Most of these are for you to kind of do away from the golf course. So when you're on the golf course, you can just freewheel a little bit. And like with any drill, if you're putting in the reps, you'll get a feeling from those. So for instance, if you're doing the drop down exercise and you're dropping the club on the floor and you're really having to wait for it, you'll get a sense of feeling in somewhere else in your body in terms of your legs. So you're like, wow, I'm really having to stay back and wait for it. So the more reps you do, the more feelings you'll get out of them. So there's no order of importance here, and they're not in order at all. And to kind of, what's the right word, layer into your swing, to give this club the best chance to drop into the board a little bit more consistently. And again, thank you very much to the kind folk here at Brampton Golf Club for opening their doors and allowing me to do this video for you. So thank you very much to everyone here. And if you're ever in the area, like I said in the intro, it's just northwest of the Lake District, as you can see in the map here. I would really recommend it. Obviously I haven't seen the golf course, but I can see a few holes here. As you can see from the drone, it looks like a beautiful parkland golf course with stunning views. And Jamie said in the office that it's a James Braid design, so I think the back 9, the few holes are over there. He said it's really interesting the way James Braid has kind of put it into the hills. So I'll send the drone up. And like I said in the intro, Hadrian's Wall's only a few miles away, and as you can see with the drone shots, what a beautiful parkland course. And the back 9, I think Jamie said in the office that James Braid designed it and put it into the hills, so he said it's really interesting, some of the holes back there, and it looks a lovely golf course. Obviously I haven't been out on the course and haven't seen it, but from what I can see with the drone shots and what I can see online, it looks a beautiful golf course. And the clubhouse there, it looks absolutely gorgeous. What a lovely little setting. So if you're ever in the area, if you're ever over to the Lake District doing some walking and you want to bring the golf clubs, please don't hesitate to come over here. I'm sure they'll give you a lovely welcome like I got today. Okay everyone, so from myself and a very, very well behaved Trev, I think he's tired after this morning's walk, we'll see you on the next video. I hope the sun's shining where you are, wherever you are in the world, and if you've got a drill that I've forgotten and you think I should have put in, please let me know below. Okay everyone, so from myself, Trev and everyone here at Brampton Golf Club, we'll see you next time. Cheerio!